Good day.
Very good day.
It's been
Very good
brilliant,
day.
man. It's brilliant. Well, I completely forgot that was going to play there. Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to the Black Lodge. I am David at Drinks Whisky, and you are joining me for Saturday Night Drams. A little bit impromptu. The Patreon members knew it was happening, but it was all very last minute. It's been a bit of a hectic couple of weeks, and there's been a lot going on, and so I've not been as prepared as possible. So tonight you're joining me for what would be traditionally seen as a montage episode, but there's not going to be any other clips. It's going to be me reminiscing about the year of whiskey so far. It's been a bit of a good year, I would say. Spoiler alert. And so we're going to talk through it. There's obviously been, it's never lacking its trials and tribulations, but we will be getting into that later. As always, participation with the live viewers is vital to this. Please let me know when we'll be asking questions and your thoughts and stuff on 2025 so far. Can't I believe we're in December? A couple of weeks away from Christmas. Crazy. But that wee video that played the Glasgow, if you watch my live streams, you've probably watched the last one, which was we were discussing the Glasgow Whisky Festival and stuff like that. But I just thought that was one of the highlights of 2025. It's right up there with like one of the best whiskey times I've had this year. And anybody that can will. And if you've not watched that last live stream, definitely go and watch it. Really good fun. There will be a video coming when I get around to it. I'm kind of trying to get through stuff, but it's been a bit hectic. But I'm already seeing people in the chat, which is phenomenal considering this was very off the cuff this evening. So I'm going to jump into the chat and see who we've got. I love when I've not got the time to prep properly. I don't know why I flail about, because the stuff shouldn't be anywhere different. But like your comments and stuff have disappeared, and you don't want to hear me moan about this. Window, where is it? Chat, comments and reactions. There it appears there. Why is it up there? Let's see what we've got going on. Thanks in, Petehead. Welcome in, mate. Thank you so much for the drams you sent me. Sorry, the olive oil or the oil or whatever it was you sent me. I accidentally drank it. I'll ping you a wee message. Some absolute belters, but I did have one that I really enjoyed. Evening, Lowlander. Great to have you in, mate. Hope everybody's keeping well. PX is in, of course. Thomas Jones. We've got Billy in. Frank's saying great wee intro video. Yeah, it's just nice to remember, isn't it? It wasn't going to be a recap of the year. I will do one that's a bit more kind of for the channel, like an actual channel kind of going through the year and talking about stuff. But I thought that's like a nice wee topic for us to talk about before it gets proper silly season, and there's loads going on which we'll talk about throughout the night. Anthony, evening, welcome in. PX with the vital question, of course, what are we all drinking? I have not got a Glenmoe 12 in my glass to kick off tonight. I've went straight in because one of the fine folk in the Patreon chat mentioned what they were having because of their advent calendar, so I have went in for Old Faithful here, Glengarry 12, with quite a decent measure to warm me up. You might hear my throat's a little bit hoarse. I'll explain why that is in a minute. Oh, that's great. Right in. It's such a good dram. If you're not on the Geary bandwagon, get on it. What distillery? There's a reason it's everybody that knows favourite. Lowlander's on the Fennel Tea. Of course you are. Derek's in. Great to have you in, mate. Bowman's in. Saturday Night Drams. Hope you have something good, great in your glass. Yep, of course. Amateur. Hope everyone's finding a bit of calm for a few minutes at this 100 miles per hour time of year. Mortlack 12 for me tonight after a gift wrapping session today. Well done. Well done having the gifts. I've got a few already. Bits and pieces still. I normally get a bit mental towards the end and panic and buy my presents close at the time, but I'm a wee bit more prepped this year. I don't know how I've managed that, but the wrapping I always end up leaving to Christmas Eve. I kind of sit there and I have a good couple of drams. I pick something really nice and I just sit and dram away and do my wrapping then. But now it's getting harder. Early starts. It's in a teaspoon Klein Leash bottle for Good Spirits Company in the glass. Brilliant. Billy's on the Campbelltown Long Row peated and Kilkerran heavily peated batch 10. Brilliant. David, welcome in. Great to have you in. And then, oh yes, I never drink whiskey during live streams just in case I take something in the live stream under the influence. I may regret that might get me cancelled. Lowlander, try doing it. Try being in front of the camera with a few drams. That's why some of the videos never ever see the light of day, especially the Whisky Festival ones. It's a hazard of the job you've got to watch, because especially when you step outside and that fresh air hits you. God. Bones on an IPA, trying to decide at the moment. Let's see what else is going on. Derrickson's favourite blend, Noble Rebel Orchid Outburst in the glass with Brute Laddie 16 organic barley on deck. I saw that Orchid Outburst in Black Friday sales, and I was trying to remember, Derek, because I think you've mentioned it before, but I wasn't too sure if I was getting myself a wee bit confused with Compass Box and stuff like that. So it's good. Is it a lot of what you would imagine? Green apple-y, fruity? Is that what we've got going on? Jesper's in with the PC and the 10 in the glass. Brilliant. And then PX, he's taking it easy. He did a nice wee 31-year-old Tobermory. The Whiskey Broker, yummy. That was 100 and... Remind me, that was 130 quid. 130 quid, thereabouts. Evening, mate. How you doing? I think it's John that's in. Right. So, it's always... and then it was me with the Glengarry 12 in my advent calendar today. Glad to inspire your first dram, no, mate, of course. Yeah, I was looking at the shelf behind me, and I was like, what am I going to have? And I nearly reached for the Quinta Rubin Glenmoe, and then I thought, nah, I'll do something about it. I always start with these, and I know I do it as a palate kick off and whatever, but it was in my head, you saying that, and I was like, right, I'm going to get the 12. And nearly, I've got the Adventurers bottle from Adelphi of the Glengarry. I think it's a 14, but it was a proof point, and I was like, I don't want to start that high up where we're at. Now let me see. Yeah, I didn't expect we've got a nice wee community tonight. I don't expect many live viewers, to be honest, because I just never publicised this one at all, and that's what I said. I was like, it's going to be really low key, nice and easy, good company, have a chat through the year that we've had. Codger's in, oh, it's yourself, Codger. You might have seen the when I did my very kind of Hogmanay in Scotland-esque whiskey ads video. There'll be a part 2. I purposely left out some that really tickle me, because I was like, there's some crackers here. I got loads of them together, and I thought, I'm not putting them all in one video. I'll do a couple and get the opinions of other people. So definitely, if you've seen the video already, but there's other whiskey ads that you think should be in part 2, please comment on go back to the video and comment and let me know, because people have been met on Instagram as well and stuff saying you should get this one and you should watch that one and do this. My main prerequisite is if you can find it in YouTube, then I can find it in YouTube. But see, if you can't find it in YouTube, I can't find it either. When I go and I've hunted in archives and stuff, like internet archive, to try and find more. But I'm working with what is on there. So if you find something on there you think that's a good one, even newer ones, I'd be interested to know about some newer ones. So you do me a massive favour if you go back to that video and leave a comment under that, and I can keep track of them all. I'm also on, as usual, a wee beer. Normally I go for bottles, but they never had any in the shop, so I'm on a can of Peroni, Nastro Azzurro, and I checked and I made sure it's not made in the UK, so I'll do that. Conscious in, who else is in? So we've got David saying he's in a 11-year-old Stosha from First Fill Sherry, but in the glass at the moment. Lovely. See, I'm getting a lot of this peaty, smoky, nice. Did you or anyone else pick up some bargains during the Black Friday sales? No, funnily enough, I didn't. Well, I tell a lie. I did. What was the one I picked up? I can't even remember. That's terrible. I have there's the Whisky Club Secret Santa that I'm in, so I picked up a bottle for that. I don't think there was really. Worst thing happened last week. Could I find my Glasgow Whisky Festival voucher? It's just vanished. So I ran out of the 10 quid on that, which was gutted. I'd held off, but I have Master and Malt Prime, and they did a Black Friday sale where it was half price, and I'd just renewed, and I've had it since they launched it. So I messaged them and they were really kind, good customer service, and they said, look, we'll refund you the difference this year. And I was like, so I had a voucher for like 15 quid on Master and Malt, so I treated myself to a bottle, which I can't even understand how. I can't even remember what I bought. It came this week. I'm going to pull up, let me check my email. How bad's that? That's the sort of week it's been. There's been a lot going on the professional front, like at work and stuff. That was it. That's why I can't remember, because I'm not talking about it, the one I bought myself yet. You'll see why. It'll make sense next week, because I'm doing my Whiskey of the Year video, and I was joking with Jeff Whiskey today, because I seen that he was editing his, and I just sent him a message saying you better not be picking the same one as me. So I'm excited for that, but I bought a bottle again of this whiskey to get into, so I'm looking forward to doing that video. I bought that one, and then in terms of other purchases, but I got I don't know what to call it, a clean sweep of whiskey. I managed to get the Springbank Fino and Cask Strength and Local Barley, and that knocked me out financially on the whiskey front, as you can imagine. So I've got those. They're actually not, the Fino's in here, the Fino's on the shelf, but the other two are up in my house, just because they got put upstairs in the study in my office, and I keep forgetting to bring them down. So I managed to get those. There were some decent deals, but I think we've had such a year of, like, from the midway point onward, of value deals happening, that we're, like, I think there's a wee bit of resilience now, where it's like, oh, well, it's, what, classic laddies, 30 quid. Yeah, well, it was 30 quid in April, and it was 30 quid in June, and it was 30, like, it's getting a bit, like, clear the decks. I know there's some cracking Diageo special releases were available. Great to see people picking those up. I nearly picked up a bottle of Green Label. I keep meaning to, but then I kind of was like, oh, do I really need it? Do I have the time to do that video yet? No, so I don't need it. And there was some, like, cracking bargains flying about. I know that John that's in got the Chichibu on the way, which was one of the ones that I was like, I still think about it, because that was a cracking dram. But there's been Chichibu released. I've not even bothered. It's definitely been, if I somehow find a way of finding out how much whiskey I've bought this year versus last year, it's definitely far less this year. I've put the money more into whiskey experiences, or going trips, or going places and seeing people and stuff like that. The Patreon money, that all goes onto the channel, so the Patreon money covered my Springbanks to a point, and stuff. So it's just one of those things. But do tell me, guys, I'm rabbiting on here. Any did you guys pick up? Anything that was missed? Was there any whiskey broker specials? I've seen quite a few things. The price, I feel like prices are creeping down. A lot of bourbon at the moment hitting the UK. A lot of Buffalo Trace stuff, Wellers, single barrels happening, which is exciting, because I think the more people that can try the good stuff, the better. So I saw Weller 12 between 60 and 80 quid landing in places. And if you try Weller 12 and you like your bourbon, it's a brilliant drinker. I had to check, because on the bourbon cabinet above it, there's 2 Weller 12 boxes, because in France it's boxed. And I was like, they empty it, and there's still 2 in it. So I'm well covered on my Weller 12. But I saw Antique 107 landing, some single barrels of that this week, which is great to see. Again, I never bought them because I've got a couple in there. I've got my eye out for CYPB if that ever lands again, because that's like the one Infinity Stone of Weller that I kind of get. There's single barrel, but it's the single barrel Wellers I've never been too impressed by, funnily enough. But that stuff's landing. I saw an Elijah Craig 18 single barrel for like 160 quid, which, if you know your bourbon, that's unbelievable as well. In terms of your Scotches, there's just a lot of good stuff coming out at the moment, and I've got a couple of drams that I've picked tonight to kind of recap the year. But I was trying to make a list of like the good whiskies of this year, like from Glasgow. They were all good, and it's great to see. The ones I tried anyway. There's always going to be stuff that people don't like, but so long-winded answer there, Olander. Hence why I'm on the night though, because I just wanted a wee chat. I wanted a nice wee cosy session with you boys and gals that join. So that, where are we? Get back to here. Here we are. And then we were talking about the Orchid Outburst. It's a really good alternative from Orchid House, which is Orchid House. But they're discontinuing that as well, apparently, which I don't understand. Tom saw now a glass of 2 sticks blended cut cask strength 64%. I hear a lot of good stuff. About 2 stacks. I tried their Irish cream in a can in Glasgow. Really enjoyed that. Never really got around to much else, but Codger, apologies for tardiness, bit of trouble in the no tardiness, Codger. It started at 10:10 the night. It was on me. I was running late. Derek loves his 2 stacks as well. I need to make a more effort. I think next year there'll be a wee bit of focus for me on Irish whiskey. I'm going to make an effort. I really want to get to Cork. I really want to get down to Middleton and do that, but also check out some other Irish bits. It's so close. Like, we can get flights for London easy enough. And I think the hotel prices, the accommodation prices have finally came down. I did look at trying to do Cork in a day, which would make for an interesting video. So definitely my thing, and 2 stacks is up there because everybody talks about it and tells me that it's really good. So I want to make sure there's that. Guys, if you can, let me know if you can hear. I'm sitting back a wee bit for the mic. If it's not the usual audio quality, do let me know. Peter said, managed to withhold myself during Black Friday, but won 2 Manickmores on auction earlier tonight, and given the winning price, it really is a win. Like, I've seen some of these auction prices in the EU, and whiskey auctioneer and stuff. There's so many steals to be had that if you're based in the EU, I'm loving this kind of tidal push out of the speculators, and they're just dumping their stocks, but also stores. As much as people are saying no, stores are doing the same. You're seeing a lot of stock come out, reappear. Bimba, or these the underground collection, just all of a sudden reappearing now when the auction price has plummeted. So it's really positive for us. Tony, great to have you in, mate. Brilliant. Speaking of offers, saw that Douglas Lang has a sale including shipping to the US. Brilliant. They've got some crackers as well. And I spoke with a few people at Douglas Lang about maybe doing something with them next year. Which not a bottle or anything like, but maybe just like they might send me some samples or something like that, or maybe if I'm up there, speak to people. But Douglas, I've got a lot of warmth, a lot of appreciation for Douglas Lang, purely because I started with Timorous Beastie and Scallywag when I first dabbled in whiskey down here, and it was because of the bottles. It was as simple as that. Anthony saying, right now the Whiskey World is 30 quid at a 20cl Johnny Walker Blue Label. Never tried it, but I've got for you. I don't know if you've seen it, the for me or no for me on it that I did. You can go and watch it. At that price, it's worth a punt, because 50 mils of Johnny Walker Blue Label is not going to be £7.50 anywhere. If I'm doing my maths right, on that. So yes, it's lovely. It's a lovely whiskey. At full price, is it for me? No, but as a gift, it's a great bottle to give. It's interesting to try. I think at that price, why not? As I said, like, you're not going to get a measure of it. It's really easy to drink. There's quality in there. Like, they don't mess about. So, yeah, you might love it. You might find it phenomenal. You might find it underwhelming. It's 40%. But it's no bad. For me, the reason it was a no for me was purely down to the price. Because for the price of that, I know I could go and get 3 bottles of Signatory, 100 bottles. Or I could put the money towards something like the Chichibu or something that's a bit special to drink. Or even I could get a bottle and a half of the Kuboken, 15, stuff like that. But if you're tempted, it's not. You're not going to know. I don't think you're going to know like it. I think it's really good. And as John saying, the Chichibu was a birthday present from my wife. Lucky fella, mate. Lucky fella. What a bottle. Have you cracked it? I assume you've cracked it home. If you've not, then if you're saving it for Christmas or something like that, mate, it's brilliant. It's such a good dram. In Campai Planet, Mac himself, he commented on the video when I mentioned it as well, and he's done a review on it. And he's just saying, like, if there's somebody that's going to know their stuff about Chichibu, it's Mac, which is always reaffirming when you're tasting something, you've got an opinion on it, and then somebody is right into it, agrees, and you're like, oh God, thank God I'm not an imposter. Billy's in Norway, for anybody that doesn't know, but no Black Friday sale on alcohol here, but managed to get some Campbelltown whiskies last month. Kilkerran 16, Springbank 12, Cask Strength and Long Row 18. Pleased with that, even if it was quite an amount of money. Yes, but mate, as drinkers go, you can't, like, they're all belting bottles. So brilliant. And everybody's just letting me know the sound is audio is good for me. Tony says brilliant, good to know. Anthony's saying, I'm being good buying bottles of Black Friday time. Just got one bottle of Springbank 10 for cost price, the normal 57 quid from Master Malt. Great. I think that was it. I think there was a lot of offers, but there was nothing that made me kind of jump. I've got 2 bottles coming from our whiskey club. We've done a single cask bottling of a Glen Grant, I believe it is. So I'm really excited for those. I just thought I'll just wait the time. Evening, Jeff Whisky. Brilliant to have you in. Glad to catch this. For anybody joining a wee bit later, the stream tonight is very low key and chilled. No cutaways, no things. There's been no time. There's been no time at all. But I have missed the stream the last few weeks, so I had to get it done. Will you be asking for the Rangers whiskey? After the win tonight, maybe. As it does sling tasting a couple of months ago, and they had the lovely card. Their stuff's great. I like the bottlings. The Rangers bottlings, the relationship they have with Rangers. Obviously, I've got the bottle from when we won the league the last time. I bought one and stuff, and it's nice, decent whiskey. But they've got a Ben Rinnes Rangers bottle, and I've held off buying it. And then Anthony saying the same, buying a blue label for 150, but 20cl tempted. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, at that. Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. David, as usual, spent too much money buying too many bottles this year. Next year, I've got to slow down. I don't know if you're going to be able to next year. I think we're going to continue to see the price slowly creep back down to a more manageable level, in spite of everything. Obviously, taxation duty is continuing to rise in the UK on it, but I think we're starting to see a bit of a more reasonable thing. I was reading something today where it was saying that people, the middle tier is kind of struggling a bit between 60 and 80, which I think in general populace, yeah, and it's more lower and higher end, but I don't think higher end. I don't know if by higher end they were talking about maybe more antique style bottlings or older bottlings, because I know a lot of my whiskey mates in my group that I'm in are hunting older stock now, really hunting older stuff. Kind of just moved away from, they'll still buy the signatories and some latest releases from distilleries they like, but overall they're kind of just looking to be a bit more conscientious with what they're buying. Codger got a Golden World at auction for half price. My favourite one from Cotswold. Brilliant. Let's see, that's what I mean. There's just stuff that's coming out. And Derek's saying that the blue label was €290 in Ireland. No, that's what I mean. Nah, absolutely not. But to put it into context, when I was in Dingle a couple of summers ago and I went into a pub and I got a red spot and it cost me, I think, a pour of it. They poured it and then put it in front of me and then told me how much it was. And it was like €24. But if you're talking about like what, 30 quid, maybe like €33, €34 for 20cl, it's worth it if you've never had it, I would say. Tony saying, speaking of football, did you chat about the Scotland match from the other week? You were there, right? Yes, I did. I was there, Tony. Through work, went with work, and it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. We were talking. I put an update video on for the Patreons, and I'm kind of going through everything that's been happening, why videos haven't been coming out regularly and stuff like that. And I said, oh, and by the way, I forgot I went to the Scotland game as well. I did go to the Scotland game. Unbelievable. Like I had almost like a stress migraine at one point. I think when we scored in between the third and the fourth goal, my head just contracted. And I was like, I can't deal with this positivity. I'm Scottish. Teams beat Scotland 4-2. Do you know what I mean? Teams beat Scotland in the last minutes of games. Scotland don't beat teams to qualify for tournaments in the last minute. But we did. And it was fantastic. And Scott McTominay, one of my friends from work who's not Scottish, he got the chance to, I was like, do you want to come? And he's like, yes, of course. Massive football fan. Huge football fan. And I was with him yesterday for lunch, and he was just like, I can't believe we got to share that moment together, because we just looked at each other when it went in. Like, he had no right. It's the highest overhead kick ever. Bizarre, but phenomenal. And now the draw's been made. Gutted about the times, and kind of gutted a wee bit that it's the Brazil game's going to be in Miami. I would have preferred it to be in Atlanta, because I've always wanted to go to that stadium. I think it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. It's where Atlanta United and stuff play. Phenomenal. I think Falcons play there as well. But the kick-off times for Scotland, it's like 2 11 o'clock PM games and then a 2 AM game. And I just feel for the pubs, to be honest. Pubs can't be showing the games at that time in Scotland unless they get special dispensation. And I know for a fact in Glasgow they're not going to get that. I don't think they're getting that at all. But yeah, the draw, funny. Hamza Egeman from Morocco is going to score a hat-trick against Scotland, telling you. Brazil, fancy our chances against them. What have they done? And then Haiti, that's got a draw written all over it. Classic Scotland. But no, it's really exciting. It's a really exciting time for that. But I've been saying over the last 2.5 years, I've really put a break on buying. Yeah, I think so many people are running a whiskey lock now, like themselves, that it's just, unless something comes up that you fancy, you kind of go, I can pick it up later. Danny's in, great to have you in, mate. Wonderful to see yous. And will you be running a World Cup special stream before the 2 AM kickoff for the Hasty game? We could do a watch along. God, imagine 2 till 4 in the summer. God. Yeah. No. Let's talk about that in the new year. I'm not even getting my thinking about that. I think that's been mostly. There we go. Peter Frank's poured himself a Chilton Kelly, 11-year-old Slanger, and brilliant, fantastic guys. Right, so running through the comments, warming up with you guys. As I say, Glengarry 12 in the glass. Wonderful dram, absolutely wonderful dram. I've got a couple of decent drams on the go for this evening, and one of them I'm going to have fairly soon, which is, I say fairly soon, it's going to be my next dram. It's going to be this, and you're not going to be able to see it because I'm using a different camera to stream. It's just a fixed camera here now, so I don't have to. Previously, I used my big camera that I take out and about with me as well, but what it meant was I had to constantly fix it, move it back and forward, and try and get it right and all that, and I wasn't really keen on it. I wonder if I can maybe I could punch in. Can I punch in? Is the question. I think I can maybe do this virtually. Let's see how bad this looks. Can you see what that is? It is the Ardnamurchan Heritage Barley. Just fix that. It's a heritage. I'm a wee bit out. Fix that. There we go. I could maybe move myself. There we go. Heritage Barley. I've had it a couple of times. It's delicious, but I figured let's go back to it while the palate's fairly fresh and on it. Really kind of the guys at Adelphi to send me it. No money changes hands. No good favour. Or it all comes of them sending me this. Full disclosure. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And they're fine with that. But absolutely delighted they sent me it. The reason for the voice being hoarse is I had a industry event on Thursday that ended in karaoke, as a lot of any chance I get ends, and so it's this fine husk is due to belting out some tunes on Thursday night. It's the festive season after all, but sadly no pop. But are we open? Shall we just go? Go for it all, eh? I was going to save it for me or no for me, but I'd be saving it for a long time because I've got tons to do. This is the Heritage Barley, which is Golden Promise, I believe. Ralphie was raving about it on the Oswas when he was speaking to Connell. Everybody kind of raved about it. Bottles flew off the shelves in Glasgow. My mate Bresh that came with us, he got the last one, and that was like half an hour in. people were just onto it. I'm going to let it open up a wee bit. Give it a wee bit of time in the glass. No, because by that, it's been sat there for a wee while. Let's see what people are saying. Get back up to the top. God, you're saying we're on the Mash Valley's happy. And have I tried the new Springbank 12 cash strength yet? No, it's a belter. No, I haven't, mate. I've not opened it yet. As I said, it's up in the house. It's not because of, for lack of it. There's been so much going on. I had for the Scotland game, I took up in my hip. I've got a wee double kind of Dunter hip flask, two compartments in it, and I took up the Kubokin 15. And pulled it into that, and then at this industry event this week, I wore a kilt. I never wear a kilt. I wore a kilt, and in my spirit, I was like, right, I need my hip flask, going all in on the Scottishness, and so I filled that with. I put the Kubokin 15 in, and I put the 2023 Kubokin 15, and I put Long Row 16 port from last year's Campbelltown, and people go, "Oh, that's really good." I was like, "Yes, it is." So I've not had the chance to open that yet, but I need. If I'd had it here, I probably would have cracked it open to try. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe that'll be for me or no for me by the time I get to it. But this one, I'm looking forward to this. They also sent me, which is it's behind me. I've not brought it over. You can see it right there. The little sample bottle sent me the 10, the AD 10, which is great. I really enjoy. So I've not been in any rush to open them because I know what they're like. But for you guys, I shall be trying this and letting you know my thoughts. As I said, Ralphie's waxed about it. Everybody's kind of loving it. If you love Ardnamurchan, you'll enjoy it. The Golden Promise single cask that they brought out, the Whisky Exchange had one, so I got to try that there. And I think maybe Independent Bars of Scotland or something had another one, and that was lovely. I loved it because it was very almost like golden syrupy, like golden syrup porridge, if that makes sense. On the nose, it's a little bit floral, I would say. It's not coastal or anything, which Ardnamurchan normally would be in my mind, like the cask strength and stuff, and a bit of the peatiness. It's a bit more rugged and briny. You don't get that. Very different mouthfeel to the GG12 that I've just had. You still get a bit of that syrupiness that I was talking about, and by that I mean it's like I don't know if the Golden Promise kind of does it, but the Heritage Barley, there's a sweetness there, but it's not a obvious sweetness. How am I trying to explain this? Like porridge, you can buy the packs, like the porridge that already has, you're adding your flavours to it, like the head, like you get the, I don't know, Quakers, and it's golden syrup porridge, whatever. It's a bit like that, but no is sweet. I know that makes no sense, but that's where I'm coming at it from. It's beautiful on the nose. It's really, really nice, and it's opening up more and more on the nose. And I feel the sweetness in the initial palate, and then it's a wee bit astringent. There's a bit of depth to it. It's really good. I think I prefer the Golden Promise single cask, because I think that really brings it to the front. But there's just a little bit. I'm going to scan this. I'm going to see what it says on the wee QR code, just in case I'm missing out on anything and I'm saying something wrong. The QR code's not working. Um, let me just, I'm going to Google heritage barley. But this is not part of my 2025 recap as such. I just thought I'd fling this into the mix as a wee taste. Unpeated, 100% unpeated Golden Promise malted barley, matured exclusively ex-bourbon barrels from 2018. So we're looking at what, a 7-year-old? They're saying, I don't think, a wee bit, nah. Chewable, oily mouthfeel, I agree. Marzipan, yep. Sugared almonds, yeah. Nuts, salted cashews, and subtle pistachios. I'm not getting that. Gentle creamy sweetness. I do think that is that, and that's what I'm talking about with that that porridgey, golden syrupy thing. Baking, Peshwari naan filling. Finish oily, luscious, well balanced, medium length. Traces of soft orchid fruits. Sweetness is the last sip of espresso. And it's bottled at 59.2%. It does not drink at 59.2%. I can tell you that right now. I did not know that was this the proof of this. You do get marzipan on the nose. That's focused me. Yeah, it's a good dram, guys. It's really good. If you get a chance of it, I think value for money. As I said, I prefer the Golden Promise single cask I had. I don't know why. But it could just be palate. It could have been just time when I tried it. But that is not a bad dram at all. That's a great dram. Again, thank you to the very kind folk up at Adelphi for sending me that. It's a wee taster. Let's see what we've got. Has anyone tried the Arran barley? I haven't, but hopefully maybe someone in here has. Original might be. Late to the party, what did I miss? Cheers from California. Mate, nothing. Missed nothing. It's a very chilled, laid back stream tonight. We started at 10 past tonight. And yeah, we're going to have a wee recap of the year. We've not even got to the recap of the year yet. Tony saying, I meant to try this at Glasgow Whisky Festival, but completely missed it. Too busy chatting. Tony. Honestly, that could be the tagline for Glasgow Whisky Festival. Come for the drams and then miss them all because you're too busy talking to people. I'm sure your karaoke singing would have slotted in perfectly as one of the acts for the World Cup draw yesterday, says Lolander. Yes, couldn't have been any worse, could it? The Indie Fest, yeah, Indie Fest I'd been looking at. There's been a wee bit of curveball flung in where there might be an opportunity to do something mental in March. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the mental thing, but I'm going to sit at the table and try and work it out. I can't talk about it now. I hate when people do that. I can't talk about this, but I'm going to tease it. I literally found out about it today, so it's very much in my head, and I've not discussed it with anybody. So that has to happen first. Indie Fest will be amazing, though. It will be amazing. Danny had a dram in the Alnwick Heritage Barley recently and thought it was very good. Yeah, I think a lot of people are really enjoying it. Julian's in. Julian, welcome in, mate. Don't worry. Bit late in, no worries. As I've said this at the start of the stream, it's very much a low-key. I never publicised it. I never did anything. It was impromptu to a point. Guys, as people are joining and they're seeing it's live, really helps me if you give a wee thumbs up, give a like, give a share, leave a comment, whatever, as it goes. If you're watching on catch up, please do leave a comment and a like as well, because it all helps push it out to people. I find that we get, and I say we because it is us together, we get a push like after the fact. Once it uploads, weirdly it doesn't fully, the way YouTube works, we do the live stream and whatever, but it doesn't fully upload properly, and the quality of the live stream, like, cause this all comes out I think in 4K, but it doesn't properly upload until like maybe normally it's like tomorrow afternoon, and then it starts to gain, and then people watch on catch ups and stuff like that, and I find that we're getting a good wee kind of rhythm of that. So all your likes and comments and all that kind of stuff make all the difference. It shows that people are engaged and actually like it. You might have noticed there's a new feature on YouTube which is really great for watching some of the bigger ones. when they do their ad break, like their ad read during a video or whatever, you can skip now, and like on TVs as well, you can skip, and it takes you to the place that people skip most to, and you just skip over the ads. So what I've been doing on all the live streams is I've been trying to like do the time markers as well, so people can find, maybe they watch half of this live and then they jump out and they come back and they go, all right, what was he saying? All right, I was there and I can do it. And I know like Roy Aquabiti and stuff put the time markers on. It is really useful, but your engagement helps massively. It helps massively, getting the word out there. Now, I'm not chasing numbers of that, but it's just for anybody, hopefully, that you guys that watch this, anybody new finding this as well, hopefully it's a nice wee goldmine for them of just content to watch, and a community that's out of this world. So thanks. Long way about saying thanks, but there you go. Peter saying the new Springbank 12 is the first in range I really like. Really, Peter? Is it exclusively? I'm asking this purely because I know your preference. Is it exclusively like bourbon in this 12? I've not even looked. This is what I mean. My head's been everywhere. I've not had the time to sit down and properly get my reading back up to speed. I'd taken a few days off last week, and I had these grand plans. I was going to come down here and clean up and get some videos shot and all that. It never happened. It never happened at all. Life gets in the way. So I'd planned on doing my reading. I'd planned on getting up to speed, prep stuff for the stream, do all this, and life happens. So I don't know what the makeup of that is, even though I've bought it. And again, Frank saying the Glengarry during the under the table tasting from Tops was great, probably Fino, but it's a very rare thing. If I go up, I'm trying to read these comments and keep involved. I can see Derek and Codger having a chat, and I'm trying to find the original message. Aaron Barley, right, that's what we're talking about. Fine. I need to catch up on Roy's stream as well, because Thursday, that was when I was out. So I've got that for watching tomorrow. I'm going to definitely get a video made tomorrow, which will be my Whiskey of the Year video. I'm excited for that. I was planning on doing something a wee bit different for it, as you know I like to do. So maybe by tomorrow I'll have an idea of what it is. But I know what the whiskey is, because that's the hardest part, is landing on a whiskey. But I'm 99% sure I've picked the one that I think, for the reasons that I think, works. This is getting better in the glass. The nose on that is just getting better and better. Heritage barley, brilliant. Right, I'm trying to catch up your comments and keep things moving. There's Hamish. Greetings from Inverness. She's caught me out with the impromptu. Yeah, mate, I caught everybody out. It was very, very impromptu. I know the cadence. I'm hoping that's part of next year. The chant. I'm calling it a channel refresh for my own sake. To just get on, like, get a cadence going that's more sustainable. With life as it currently is as well. And then we've got everybody welcoming Hamish in. As it might be already night to Whiskey Live Paris and the Whiskey Show early bird prices. Yeah, I got that. I got those emails as well. Paris is a no-go. There's no chance. With what I'm trying to plan to get to next year, I'm sitting down and doing almost like a draft to work out dates and where I can go and what I can't do. And there's a lot on the table next year in terms of that. Exciting stuff, but there's just too much. But I'll be in London, as I always am. So looking forward to that. The early bird prices, I'm trying to work out. So I have Whiskey Show content. I have the Whiskey Show content, and I haven't edited it properly yet, because I always struggle with the Whiskey Show content, because who cares about me drinking whiskey live? That's how I feel. And then I put it up, and I know that you guys would appreciate it and stuff like that. But there's so much at the Whiskey Show in London to try and cover. That I want to do it fair and justice, but I don't know whether if I do it, I want one day for me where I can just enjoy and not have a camera at it, and maybe one day making the content, but you get the FOMO when you've got the content and people want to give you a dram while you've got the camera and maybe talk to you about it. So I'm trying to figure out the cadence of that. Do I do Saturday, Sunday? Do I do Friday, Saturday? Do I do Friday, Sunday? Do I do the full weekend? Cause I need to buy the ticket. So it's just trying to work that out for that. But it'll be treat yourself, like early Christmas present. And I'm just going to pull this out for Frank, St. Antonio. Per definition, there's not too much chat. Glasgow, it's great to meet so many lovely people. Whisky came second, and it really did. It really did, and that's the best thing about that show. I'm going to pull this out. Hamish said, never better, man. Surprise dram last week in Inverness at a random tasting. Bushmills 15 cognac. Scotch loved it. And then Jeff saying, DM me, drinks was going to make sure there's no overlap. Mate, I've already seen it, and you said it's a cheap one. Well, mate, mine's as cheap as well, in the grand scheme of things. But look, see if we both land in the same one with no collaboration, then you know what? We're doing something right. John tried the Aaron Bally. Nice dram, lots of citrus, aniseed, ginger on the nose and palate. Brilliant. Danny, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thanks for all you do, David. Much appreciated. Really appreciate that, Danny. There's no need. I do it because this community makes me really happy, and keeps me kind of focused on the things that I enjoy. Someone asked a question on Thursday, and it was, if you were put in a room with 1,000 random people, what would be the one thing that you would feel comfortable proclaiming that you could do better than them of the 1,000 people? And I not confidently said, but I said, it's probably whiskey stuff. No whiskey tasting or whatever, but whiskey stuff. And it's funny because people just assume, especially down here in England, that because I'm Scottish, we all drink whiskey, and it's not that way at all. But the community in here, just, I think I saw some comments earlier from some people as well, helps keep everybody right, the right community, and it's just such a positive, lovely community. So thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. It all goes back into the channel, because it's funny, people are like, oh, would you do this full time? Like, what Roy's managed to achieve is nothing short of phenomenal, and what's just happened with the Patreon drama and that, it doesn't really affect me because I've never done bottles or anything like that. But I'd seen the thing that kind of triggered him as well, which is there's a bourbon guy called Bourbon Hunter. His name's Hunter, so it works really well for his name. And he was doing single cast and stuff and put it up on Patreon and helped, same way Roy used to do, and they just locked down his Patreon and you can get it out. So Roy's having to be doing all that, but I'm not in that stage at all. So all this helps massively for me. Jeff saying, oh, something always seems to get in the way of our videos. I've got a painful amount of whiskies and samples waiting for me. Like, it's like part of my whiskey group and that, people send samples all the time. I just don't even partake in it anymore, and I don't know if people think I'm rude or whatever. It's because I end up with too many things and I don't have the time to drink them. I don't drink whiskey all the time. To be honest, like maybe a couple of times a week. I drink the most whiskey when I do these streams, to be honest, like back to back. And I'm sure that anybody who has a partner or anybody around them, friends, flatmates, anything like that, and they go, oh, have you got a whiskey problem? I say, hi, the problem is I've got too many bottles and I can't drink them all. If I had a whiskey problem, if I had a drink problem, I'd have no whiskey. I it just accumulates over time. I tossed out a ton of plastic bottle samples when I was redoing this place, and I was like, what a waste of whiskey, because the amount of time they'd been in the plastic, it would have contaminated the dram. It's just a nightmare. It's just, there's never enough time, is there, Jeff? It'd be great to take a run at it. A couple of weeks off and just churn out content every day. But when I did March Dram Madness and I was doing those videos every day, and I seen nothing, I seen no bounce, I seen no up, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll make them when I want to make them. But we said, I think Ardnamurchan Mezcal Cask might be my whiskey of the year. Wow, that's, to be funnily enough, that's one of the few whiskies this year that I've tried that I've just not got on with. Not in a bad way. It didn't work for me too much. That and the rum cask just never agreed with me. But brilliant. It's the beauty of whiskey, isn't it? Everybody's going to have something different. I just saw that the Whisky Exchange, and I think Jeff was Jeff, were you involved in that? Were you there? I don't know if you were. No, I don't think, was it somebody? I seen somebody post on Instagram that they were involved in it. Because they hold a big tasting. You can buy tickets for it and stuff as well, and you can go. And the winner this year was White Peak, the Wireworks Bourbon Cask, which is, if you've watched before, phenomenal whiskey, great whiskey. The English part comes like a very distant footnote for me. I was explaining that to people again this week, that's how good English whiskey's got. That it shouldn't be a thing. It should just be called, like, it shouldn't have that precursor, but it's English. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Scanning through here. So this always ends up happening. I end up talking away too much and then no getting to the actual topics that we're here for. So 2025, year so far, we kicked off January. I was in Sevilla and went to Jerez. And I'm just going to move this wire. We went to, well, I say we as a channel went to a bodega, a sherry bodega, Lusto. Fantastic day. By the end of it, very fantastic. If you've watched that video, a little bit glazed in the eyes. Fascinating to understand sherry even more. Because I think we have so many sherry whiskey finishes and casks and whatever, and we have our perceptions of what they taste like and what they should be like. But to taste the actual sherry itself and the process, and then understand that the process behind sherry finishing now and all that is very different. Obviously, it depends on the bodega and the whiskey brand, but really enjoyed that. At the start of the year, then, as I mentioned earlier, we had March Malt Madness. I launched the For Me or No For Me's properly as well. Kind of not reviews, but just giving people opinions on what I thought about the whiskey. And if your palate matched mine, then great. If not, even better, because then you've got a point of comparison. We did that. March Malt Madness really took it out me in terms of creativity, because it were very formulaic. And that's good. Each to their own. That's why we've got such a great whiskey community. Everybody makes videos different way. I by the end of it, I was ready for it to be the end of it. I loved what I learned during the process for the palate and from the whiskey drinking and choosing a winner. And the winner of March Dram Madness was, funnily enough, Ardnamurchan Cask Strength release. Was it a fair draw? No. It was computer generated and I just went with it, but it was really fun to do, and I think it helped me understand how much your palate can change as well, day by day, dram by dram, what you're comparing it with and what you're having it with. So I really enjoyed doing that. I'm going to, there's no linear to this, by the way. I had like actual memory of what we put out, but live streams, got them going, nice cadence, really enjoyed doing that. Had the honour of hosting a V-pub. Roy trusted me to do that. Really appreciated that, and I thought that went really well with Billy Abbott, with Pete and with Mac. Pete from Woven and then Mac from Campai Planet. I thought great mix, and just a great conversation around if you were doing like a collection for some like different bottle types for somebody starting a whiskey, not collection, but like a whiskey library of sorts where people could draw from. We had that, and I think I need to mention that woven. If you've not had that woven coffee whiskey, by the way, do it. Alan, it's usually, and I don't know if Alan's in tonight, he'll probably watch and catch up. He bought it because when Pete was on, they were singing their praises with Pete. Actually, it was the other week when Pete popped into the chat and was watching live, and then he sent a picture of it, and the joke was about the label. The label was a bit messy, but you look at all that woven. I need to buy that coffee one again. I should have just bought it during Black Friday, but just never got around to it. It's great, especially for Christmas time, guys. Just trust me on it. It's really, really good. So obviously did the V-Pub stuff. That was great. I had my Highland trip. I need to edit part 3 of the Great North Run. Why I called it the Great North Run, I don't know. To be obtuse, probably. Because I know it's an actual running event in the northeast of England. But that was great. Jack had a fantastic time. Jack's my mate from America. Not Scotch versed, and then he messaged me because he lives in LA. The time difference is great because I wake up to messages from him, and it was just saying, what was it he wrote? November 23rd. So I woke up he sent me this at 6:52 a.m. Just had a 30-year-old Klein leash with dinner. Incredible. My work's done. Guy didn't know how to drink Scotch. And now when he's at dinner, he's like, I'm having a 30-year-old Klein leash. Possibly due to the fact that his mystery malt bottle that he got was the Klein leash. But so happy for that. Part 3 needs to be edited, get that done. There's going to be a glut of videos, I think, once I get the time to just sit down and life's a bit easier. But if we get worried, YouTubers, I say we YouTubers, but they're making videos, gets worried, you need to post at a certain time and do this and the algorithm like that. But the community, you guys find my videos, so it's fine. So if I need to put out 3 videos in a row, I'll put 3 videos out in a row. It kills traction for other people seeing them, but it is what it is. If they find me eventually, they can go back and watch other videos. So we did that. We had I went to Croydon Whisky Show in March. Still not edited that because I was never quite happy enough with what I caught in terms of how I videoed it and stuff. But I had some great whiskey there. The Spirit of Birmingham stuff was really great. I tried the Heart Cut properly. They are now the darlings of whiskey world, it seems to be. And so there's just loads of wee bits, snippets and stuff going on. Glasgow was obviously great. Whisky Show this year was great. Tried some great whiskies there as well. A whiskey that's really stuck with me, and I keep trying to do. I hate doing the whiskey Santa thing with Master of Malts, but I do it because I want them to give me the Gordon and MacPhail Tom and Tool that I tried. It's like 200 odd quid. Unbelievable. Certain drams you have and you just can't stop thinking about them. That was one of them. Another one at that show was the Enigma that's available from Cadenheads, how you want to pronounce it, at the moment, which was like a Mortlack type. It felt very worm tubby, heavy, punchy, good, bourbony, like bah. And it was Macallan. So it's very much that. And it's real. I'm really tempted to pick that up as a wee Christmas treat to myself. If I can still get a bottle. So I'm jumping about the year. I'm just trying to remember other bits and pieces. There's been lots going on. I think it's been great to see some brands really, I say brands, but distillery brands really rise up a wee bit. I think Glasgow's rise has been fantastic. I know that was also coming last year as well, but that's been great to see. I think Clydeside's been getting better, absolutely. I had the Napier at the Blind Taste Challenge at Glasgow Whisky Festival with Roy, for Aquavita's one, and I hated it. I physically hated it. My palate, I couldn't get around it. It was plasticine. It was like plasticine as a child, like the stripped plasticine, and it added a bit of water to it, and it just made it even worse for me. Lactic, disgusting, but other people loved it. Each to their own. So I find that, like, but they're doing great. I'm glad they're coming good. I think what we're seeing happening with the kind of, how do I put it, with the Diageo special releases, the prices coming down on that, there might be a wee bit of correlation, a wee bit of a correction hopefully happening with what they're putting out. So lots going on. I'm going to go back to the chat because the chat was flying as I was talking through the year there. Where are we at? Up here. Mike saying, sadly to Lowlander, sadly no, living in California, I can only make it over a couple of times a year, and also doing the Springbank Whisky School in July. Fantastic. Maybe 2027 I want to get to Glasgow Whisky Festival 2 Sunday. And then Peter saying, the Ardnamurchan is not my whisky of the year, but definitely a positive, surprising dram. This is the great thing about it. It's just people having different palates, but also finding commonality with other whiskies as well. Let me see, scrolling down. Seen a lot of people talking about the indie festival in Leaf in March. As I said, that was on my radar. That was going to be negotiated, hopefully. But this other thing that's popped up today would be unbelievable. What a wonderful dram. See, honestly, in the glass, with time as well, it just keeps opening up. Talking about the heritage barley. That wee bit of heat there at my nose. Yeah, great dram. Great dram. If you've been on the fence, you can still get it. Still pick it up online. When I googled, when I was searching for the details of it, yeah, really good, really nice, really nice. Deirdre saying, and everyone, just thought to mention that a couple of weeks ago I became a granddad, showing my age now. David, congratulations, mate. Fantastic. How's that been? What an excuse to buy more bottles. You've got to now buy 2025 bottlings. I saw that Macallan's Classic Cut, this is the last year, 2025. No better excuse. Buy it, stick it away. And I can see Hamish saying to Danny, I'll pass it to cross in 2026. I have a YouTube episode out on 16th of December with Phil Thompson and the first behind the scenes at the new £13 million clubhouse at Dornoch Golf Club. Brilliant. Hamish, we're passing it across as well. I missed, you messaged me, you were coming down to London, and I read it, but I didn't, if that makes sense. It said I'd read it. I don't know when I'd read it, but I completely missed it. Gives me if I need to come up to you, mate, gives me an excuse to come up. I'm desperate to get back up that part of the world. So I'll be looking out for that. So definitely check out Highland Hamish's YouTube channel. Hamish, if you want to drop it in the chat or whatever, if the link will work, I'm not sure, but if not, I'm sure you can find Highland Hamish on YouTube, but I know how difficult search can be at times on here, so definitely feel free to drop it in. Mr. Smudgeroo, have you tried the Isla Finish Heart Cut? Sounds right up my street. I haven't. What is it, a blend? What one's that? The Locklear one? No, I haven't, but I know a lot of people that tried it really enjoyed it, because a few of my mates were quite kind of surprised at the Locklear element of it, which I don't mind Locklear cast strength. No issue with that at all. Yeah, that Canhead's Macallan is really good, isn't it, Lowlander? It is not a Macallan, which is maybe that's why it's really good. It just has such a, it makes me so sad that they've just got rid. They're doing no more bourbon. They're saying, like, Macallan sings in bourbon cask. See that I have to go with a rare fine 17-year-old Old Punky with White Port finish. Yeah, that whiskey, everybody's been singing the praises of it, and I saw it, and I never bought it again. And I love it when I get the FOMO of not getting a bottle, but knowing other people are enjoying it. Anthony Lambert, good evening everyone. First time here for me on a live stream. I'm a Welshman living in Germany. I've been drinking single malt now for nearly 40 years. Been a proper nerd for the last 15. And you're all welcome. Is it Anthony or is it Tony or is it... But for the new... Everybody's learning that these new names on YouTube that they've changed. There's a way of... If you want to put it as to like a username or something, you can change your name. But mate, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for dropping in. What are you having in the glass this evening? That applies to everybody that might not have already said. What are you having in your glass? I'm on the cans, obviously. I need to make my next pour. Has anyone had the Highland Park cast shrimp heather? It's just showed up my area. No, I have not. Maybe someone in the chat has, but there's also, I saw that there was a Highland Park released. Was it Lovians that did it? Let me check. It's like people are doing novelty bottles now, right? And it's great. I'm really, really, really enjoying the novelty bottles. I think it's Lovians that are doing it. Let's see. Lovians, Highland Park. If I just go maybe whiskey, latest arrivals. They have done one that, was it them? Yes, it was. It's £100. It's a 19-year-old independent bottle. There's only one left, so if you want it, go now. But it's done like the style of HP sauce. It just says highly peculiar. It's not HP sauce exactly, but it looks like a bottle of HP sauce, brown sauce. Standing 19-year-old unknown Orkney from a refill sherry butt that we found very highly peculiar. Only 150 bottles of this were produced, and it looks inspired thoughts of a certain sauce bottle, which again for legal reasons we couldn't possibly mention. £100 for a 19-year-old Highland Park, 52.4%, definitely worth a look. Just about to kill him about a Thompson Broad Dalyoun, Badger. Yeah, I killed off one of those as well. So good, Dalyoun. There's so many great whiskies out there at the moment, isn't there? So many good ones. Like just distilleries that you can just rely on. John, you'll need to tell me. I had a Tullabarden, right? I don't mind. I've got the bottle of the Murray that's decent enough. But I had a Sauternes cast for Tullabarden that just put me right off Tullabarden. Is this 12-year-old worth the hype? Because I've seen a lot of people sing its praises. And his Ardnamurchan sherry in my glass and a can of Brewdog Black Heart Stout poured to go with it. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely great. On the Hoff and Hoff as well. What was saying, Rob? HP highly peculiar, I know. Great, isn't it? That's the way to get around it. What am I going to pour now? While I'm deciding on a pour, I will pull up Patreon shout out. As always, massive thank you to the Patreons. You guys support me in so many different ways. The chats we're able to have on the side, the wee updates I'll do for the guys, but also just their support helps me keep doing what I'm doing. I am going to go for, I'm just looking here. Just because you said the smudgery when you said that there, I'm going to go for a wee, as they call it, Teeth Mill, which we know as Deanston. And that is going to go in there. This was over 11 years, 54.1%, 305 bottles. And I believe, I'm pretty sure that teeth mill, it wasn't expensive. I actually picked it up in Dornoch because it was sitting waiting for me. But it's no money at all for what it is. It's a lovely waxy dram. So just you talking about the Dalyoon, and I was like, fancy something like that. It's a wee bit of depth to it, a wee bit of chew. Aye, lovely. I wanted that Dalyoon when I bought it in the bottle shop, but they'd sold out. There's a couple of bottles as well that I should have bought. I should have bought that 1984 Thompson Brothers. Absolutely should have bought it. Someone I was with this week as well, they're coming up they're 14 next year, and they were like, oh, what whiskey should I get? And I was like, just wait till next year and see what comes out. It's a 40-year-old from 86, far more 86 whiskey than 84. Just see what's going on. I'm trying to catch up with the chat because there's a lot of stuff going on. The Glenburgh, yeah, and I can see people talking about Glenburgh. The fragrance drop, Glenburgh. I'd looked at picking up the Glengarry. I've not bought any. I've not bought any fragrance drops bottles yet, and I've heard nothing but great things, like nothing but great. And I keep trying to look, and I was looking with that Master of Malt voucher. Nearly bought the Glengarry, and then I thought, I feel like I'm going a wee bit too all in on the Glengarry at the moment. So maybe take a wee rest for it, but it's still on my wish list of sorts. And then picked up the Thompson Brothers 18-year-old this week with the Highland Games Hammer Thrower on the label. That is Highland Park 18 for 65 quid. It's good. It is good. I've tried it. I know a couple of people have had it and I've been a wee bit underwhelmed. And I don't know if they've been underwhelmed because they were expecting something like that. But manage expectations. If you're paying... oh God, I've just seen people coming in. Manage your expectations with it. It's 65 quid for an 18-year-old. And then they find, I'm a wee bit disappointed. And I'm like, kind of, no help. Thompson Brothers building a reputation for themselves where people expect 65 quid whiskies to be blowing their minds, 18-year-olds. They're putting, did you say the 18-year-old whiskey out for 65 quid? I've not bought a bottle of it. As I said, I've been quite frugal the last couple of months with the bottle purchases just to slow down a wee bit. And Jeff was saying, did you say Deanston? Yes, indeed. Teeth Mill, Perthshire, is a Deanston. It's a refill hogshead, bottled May 2025, filled 19th of Feb 2014. It's lovely. I like Deanston. I've got no issue with Deanston. I'd happily drink a Virgin Oak Deanston, never mind this. Lovely. Aquavite, great to have you in, mate. Picked up the phone to kill it for the night. See you live. Well, nightcap then. Exactly. Good to have you in. Very impromptu the night, Roy. Just a very kind of slow, steady, easy recap. Chat to the quality folk here. Because it's been a few weeks. Just getting the down low and talking about this year so far and what a year it's been. And I'm sure you and Jeff's in, if Jeff's still on. From a Whisky Tube point of view, I think it's been quite a positive year. I think it's not hitting the heights of the last, like, a few years ago. I don't think. Which is good. Bad, good, I don't know. But it feels like it's becoming a wee bit more sustainable and a wee bit easier to get involved in and get the bottles that people are chasing. And I think, putting this into the chat as well, I think a lot more people were able to get their hands on bottles this year that maybe in the last couple of years have been really hard to come by. And I think it's because that speculation is slowly dying out. I was chatting to a shop that had to send a lot of bottles back that previously they put on the shelf and were disappearing, like, and they just weren't shifting anymore. and that was a limited release. So it's quite intriguing what's going on, but really good year. I think everybody's kind of coming out a wee bit more upbeat than usual. I think the last couple of years have been a wee bit pessimistic, and I think this year we're coming into 2016 a wee bit more optimistic. Whiskey and wine trails. All this talk about Dillion nudged me to pour a 12-year-old Adelphi super rich sherry. Brilliant. And I'm seeing the chat in here. Need to duck out, Mike. No worries, mate. Thank you for joining. When you did, go and enjoy the rest of your day. Hello everyone. Hi, what a year. Bottle chasing is really there, and I think there is. I think it is. I think there's very few bottles chasing. I know. I would say the Pheno Springbank, the reception to it from everybody I know that's opened it and tried it and had it has just, like, they love it. And I think they've said it. I've not opened mine yet, but it's the best of this series that they've brought out. So I know people have been chasing that, but outside of that, there's very few. Like, I can't. I'm scratching my head a wee bit, going like, has there been anything that's been like a must have? But even like a flipping point of view, that seems to have just subsided a wee bit, which is nice to see. Jeff saying, think it's been a grand year for Whiskey and Us Tubers too. Calibration time, yeah, exactly. And I think there's been new people join, like new channels coming up, which I think it's been harder for the new channels. And I speak as this is, I can't really consider myself new anymore, but you don't get the rapid growth. And I think people can get discouraged at growth and feel like they're talking into a void. That's why I love the live stream, because I can engage with people in real time. But it's a niche upon a niche. Like, you know, I'll never forget, like, the person that stumbled on this stream like a couple of months ago, was it? That was just dumbfounded that here was a guy talking about whiskey, and here was all these people in the chat talking about whiskey, and the comment they put up and stuff, I just been like, you guys you're just talking about alcohol, and I think we forget sometimes that, and I'm like, no, we're a niche upon a niche, but as long as you know that, then why make content if it's not for you? And I think that kind of keeps me slow and steady. But in terms of the whiskey calibration as well, it's coming. There's still brands doing some stupid stuff, and that's always going to happen. Fine, chase it all you want. But from my point of view, it's been great to be able to pick up bottles if and when I want them. I think that's slowed down my whiskey purchasing massively, knowing that I can go and just find them in the shops, and weirdly find bottles. Because for me, it's the Whiskey Exchange at Borough is my local of sorts. I can find bottles in there sitting on the shelf that are selling out quick elsewhere because of the footfall that they get. And when I spoke to them in the shop the other week, it's picking up. It's Christmas time, so it picks up naturally. But it's not been a strong year. I think as a retailer, I think everybody's seen it a bit slow down. Smudgeroo saying, I was in my local whiskey shop in Lincoln recently and couldn't believe some of the rarer bottles they had, bourbon as well, Scotch. Exactly, that's exactly what's happening, and it's good. I think it's good. I don't know how if it's good for the retailers because they need that footfall and buying, but it's good for us. Lowlander saying the only flipping I still notice are Springbank bottles apart from the Springbank 10. Yeah, I think just because of the nature of it, and I don't know if that's still the Chinese factor, where it was gaining a bit of a cult following in China. And I remember someone telling me about a van at Campbelltown Festival just loading up tons and tons of bottles, and that's where they were going, and making massive margin on it. But outside of that, there's no many that are doing it, and I kind of worry for some of the smaller distilleries that kind of hung their hat on and went all in, and also for some independent bottlers that went all in on cask prices. Cask prices are coming down as well. See, but what is this rapid growth? Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, mate. You know what I mean? Like, it's slow and steady. I wouldn't even say wins the race. It's in the race. If you do that, and I think it's tough for people if they maybe saw something jump up or whatever, and trying to be consistent on a platform that just, they're trying to push you towards shorts, and they're trying to push you towards using AI in your videos and all that. And I'm like, I'm sat here talking about whiskey. How am I using AI? Do you know, like, what am I going to do? But, and then I could be Roy saying, Aaron Barley, love it. Some of the guys earlier were talking about it. Roy, I was, for context, for anybody new late joining tonight, I've been slammed with work, and I was at an industry event on Thursday, and karaoke, so my voice is a bit hoarse. So I've not watched your stream, but I have a day tomorrow to catch up on things. So I'm looking forward to seeing, because I've heard that you've really enjoyed it as well from others. Ted, better late than never, mate. Don't you worry about that. Year of the indie bottlers, absolutely. And I know Roy did a really good stream about this, talking about that, about Glasgow and stuff as well. And myself thinking about it at Glasgow, Glasgow's kind of known because it doesn't have the big brands there as such. So even, there are no indie bottlers, but the smaller distilleries like Glasgow and people like that, you kind of, Daft Mill, Francis was there and stuff. They're not indies, but the spirit's all the same. Like, they're all trying to kind of push against the grain, and kind of they're fighting against these giant marketing budgets and stuff like that. And the liquid tells the story, and it's been fantastic for that. I think the new indies, I hope they'll be all right, and they've not went too hard in purchasing. We were seeing Killealer at points getting up to 90 quid for stuff that isn't. It's no 90 quid, but that's because that's what they were buying casks at and stuff like that. It's all going to come down, so hopefully they'll be all right. And to say, being in Germany, I follow English and German whiskey tube channels. Trying to discover new channels can be difficult, though I do try, and it is. It's really difficult. The Oswalds were good this year as well, with the new list of channels and kind of going through that stuff. It was great to see. It's more, I find it on Instagram as well, it's hard to discover new. I don't know if there's something there that can be done in some way as a community, where we can maybe call out stuff and help that way. John saying, first fill bourbon, loads of vanilla, pastry, popcorn, bacon, spice, honey, stewed pears, worth the price. What are we talking about there, John? Apologies if I've missed that. We're saying whiskey's back, baby. Yeah, no, it is. It does. It really feels like it. Average 12 bottles a year, so I'm far from a bottle chaser. I'm limited by what I can afford to spend. In fact, this year, I'm 10 bottles price have gone up here in Germany. Anthony, I think 12 bottles is still. I wouldn't say you're a bottle chaser, but you're definitely helping the industry at 12 bottles a year, even 10 this year. I think people forget, on average, the average consumer does like 1 bottle a year, maybe 2. And it's all done by price. Like in supermarket and FMCG, your alcohol sales are done by price promotion. Brand loyalty kind of goes out the window. There's certain bottles that people pick. I always like remind myself, my uncle, his top shelf, his big bottle, expensive bottle, is a bottle of Black Label at 20-25 quid, as it should be. For most normal, I say normal, the general populace, that's whiskey. So when you buy, that's not bottle chasing, but that's definitely, we all do that, and it's definitely really contributes to it. But with pricing going up, it does slow down. As I was saying, I picked up 3 bottles from the shop the other week. Significant outlay for me. but that's in a month, and then maybe the next month nothing, but then maybe 2 or 3 here or there, and you end up just accumulating. Frank's on final dram of the day, the IB 12-year-old Tyrrhenic Fable. Great. David, thanks for joining, mate. All the best. Amy saying superb dram. I've got that Fable bottle, only a few drams left in it. Roy saying there's still millions of content creators, but less than a couple of years ago. I think it's harder to get started. You're 5, well over 3. You're fine. You're 5 or 3 years. Same for Super Jeff Whisky. Yeah, well, I started in 2020, kinda, and then just checking this here. Started in 2020. Played around with some concepts, and then really launched it in 2022. Aye, so 3 years, 2022. I've always dabbled with YouTube, but never really made a run at it. But now it's a passion. I enjoy it. I wouldn't give it up. But it can be. I think it's demotivating. You can put a lot of effort in. Like, I'm about to go, and tomorrow I'm actually videoing the I do my supermarket whiskey battle, whatever I call it, where I just go around all the supermarkets and show what whiskies on the shelf. And it's my easiest video to make in terms of I walk in a supermarket, I take out the phone, I video the shelves, I then bring it in, put it together. First year I did it, I tried to make it fun, but I just put it together, I'll comment over it, and I'll put it out. And every year that's the best performing video. And that can be disheartening when, on the other hand, you put loads of effort in, and you fly to places and you do stuff, and then nobody watches it. But you just keep going. You have to enjoy it. FMCG industry acronyms, yeah, exactly. ABC ones and DCG. Oh God, getting too late for this chat. Jeff saying it's easy to forget that in our niche. My mum's Glenfiddich goes for 3 years before a replacement. Exactly, and people don't know it. When it comes to like whiskey sales, the trick is, the simplest trick, and America does this so well with bourbon, get people to drink that bottle faster. And that can be with cocktails, or it can be mixed drinks. Because if you can show people to enjoy something in a new way, then they have to buy it again sooner. So if you move from 1 bottle a year to 2 bottles a year, you double your sales. And instead, everybody keeps chasing somebody new that's got no interest in the product. I can go off on that for ages. We're saying good night to David. No worries, Roy. I know it's a nightmare, the chat on the main thing, to be honest. What's happened to Vin PF? Not seen him in contact from him in ages. And I can see Roy's reply to that. He's got to focus on shots someone a little hiatus. We all need it. Yeah, no, it's the exact same. I think Vin was just a bit, not disheartened, but it's hard to keep coming up with new content and feel like you're not just saying the same thing over and over again. So he's been doing the shorts. He's been doing shorts, and he's been doing Instagram. And I think he's kind of enjoying it, and getting back into the swing of things. He's still managing to get out and about to stuff as well. Lowlands saying, I found you via your Edinburgh Drams on the Run video, but didn't join your channel. Then I couldn't remember your channel name to find it, and only rediscovered it 2 months later. But that's the exact thing. If I could go back, I love the name Drinks Whisky. I think it works really well. I was really happy with it because it was my Instagram handle and it was available here. Great. From an SEO, from a search engine optimization point of view, it was terrible. If you type in Drinks Whisky, it will autocorrect to Drinks space Whisky, and then you'll get a ton of Richard Patterson swirling glasses about and flinging whiskey at people content, and you won't find me. Whereas I've managed to build it up enough now, because I've got the website and stuff as well, that I'm getting more searchable. But that's why I always say I'm David at Drinks Whisky, because if you put in at Drinks Whisky, it comes up. But mate, you found me. Shame. What do you mean you never followed me after watching that first video? Shame on you. I got absolutely soaked in that. But then found that bottle. Tony still jokes to me about that in Cadenheads when I see him at festivals and stuff. Coming in there and just being like, can I buy that? And he's like, aye, it's on the shelf. But as I was saying, it can get disheartening. But what I really enjoy is I like it when I find channels and they have a whole load of old content. I can binge and I can go through it. And I think it's really intriguing to see how a channel progresses and the cadence and the style, and do they find their footing and the way of doing stuff and their confidence in that. And I now have that enough content that you can hopefully see that and follow it through. I put a video up and I think I'm going to release it. It was a Patreon only exclusive, and it's a piss take video, very tongue in cheek, tasting video that harks back to the first video I did for Drinks Whisky on the channel, but also I'll need to put it. I'll bring it down for the next live stream. I've got this little memento of that first video that I got given, and I'll explain it when I show it on the channel. But it's stuff like that. It's that slow build and keep going and keep going and keep going, that makes it worthwhile. As long as you enjoy doing what you're doing, and I think that's the hardest part. It's easy to chase views. I say it's easy, but you can focus on, right, this is in trend and that's in trend, and I'll do this and I'll do that. But then it becomes too much like a job, and too much a laborious task, and you'll find excuses not to do it, and you'll get put off. As long as you enjoy making it, you'll keep making it, like what Jeff does. I remember trying to make videos like that. I couldn't get my head around, and I don't know how long. Jeff, you're in the chat now. How long does an average video take you to edit? With all the cutaways and stuff like that, I would love to know, because that's a lot of work, and I don't know if people appreciate how much work that takes to do. But it's so obvious in his content. He enjoys doing it, and that's the biggest factor. If you don't enjoy what you're making, then it's really hard to make it. I was saying, saw Vin at English Whisky Festival. He was in good form and still very much posting on his channel. Yeah, he's just a shift, just changed it up, and then it means when he comes back, if he comes back doing long form content, he's going to come back buzzing and excited to do it, and that's only a good thing to be doing. I still buy a few drams off supermarket shelves. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just that it's the making part of it. It's so easy. But I enjoy those videos as well because they're nice little time capsules of pricing and what's in market and what's not. Jesper, I think the Oswars helped a lot. I was watching Ralphie for years before the Oswars brought my attention to so many others. Yeah, no, and I think it has a big part to play in discovery of new people. Definitely for me, and just other people's opinions and all that. And like, I think most of us have just started with Ralphie and probably Roy, and kind of grown from there. And then you find other people, and like Whisky Tribe were huge. The Whisky Tribe stuff was brilliant. I loved that. How great was it to come in every day and just, there's a new whiskey review video. But you could tell that they were getting a wee bit creatively challenged as well, where they were getting a bit bored by coming in and doing this, and they pivoted and they did all that, and then obviously there was the split because of whatever was going on there. And now they're not getting the same numbers at all. But I think lockdown helped massively and stuff like that. So it's trying to discover new people doing new things, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to do something different when we're all talking about alcohol. because by default as well, the reach of alcohol content is not going to be pushed as hard and as fast, and it's so funny because people go, oh God, if a video gets 300 views, 300 people is still a hell of a lot of people. If you break 300 people, that's like, oh, what would you say that is? That's like a primary school, like, of people, including teachers. It's a lot of people to sit and put up with somebody just ranting about whiskey. And so I think it's encouraging, and definitely I'm very transparent in the making process. And I made a video a couple of years ago about how I make whiskey video content, and I'm happy to make another one, because I'm just like, if you want to know how to do it, here, by all means. It's not a competition. Don't compete against each other. I think we enjoy everybody talking more about it. Just saying, talking about how long it takes, too long, between 5 to 8 hours per video. Records are 3 hours all in and 26 hours. Records are 3 hours all in and 26 hours all in. Exactly, and that's 26 hours for a video. And how did that one perform? Did it do as well as you hoped? Frank saying, love the content Jeff Whisky puts out. Next to the content, it's just entertaining. Almost always brings a smile on my face. Exactly. And he probably did it in such a way that gets it, like, it makes it accessible to people as well. The pace is great. But then on the flip side, it's a case of now, Jeff, do you feel like you've made a rod for your back that you've got to keep doing it, or do you enjoy doing that? Do you know what I mean? You can get yourself boxed in a wee bit sometimes and panic, but I don't feel like that's the vibe. I think he makes the content because he wants to make it. My videos, like I said, for this the Whiskey of the Year video, I've got in mind what I want to do for it. It's not going to be anything spectacular, that, but I have this very certain mindset. Or I could just come and sit here and make the video. But it wouldn't excite me just to sit here and tell you this is my Whiskey of the Year. Yay. I want to go and do something with it and put a bit of fun into it. As I said, I popped my whiskey tube cherry with Ralphie many years ago, then discovered a few German lads. So my first wee pub about 6 years ago, discovered others and enjoyed since then, and learned so much so. And then Highland Hemisphere, Rex and Daniel were my first YouTube education, then Ralphie, and then in June 2018 I came across Magic of Isla, Aquavite. But that's exactly it, and because I think at that time there were people out there, like, big channels have not came and went, but went very quiet as well because of life and stuff happens. People kind of keep making the content, and you don't make money off of doing this. And it's a lot of investment of time and money, but that's how we kind of find a way, isn't it? I've seen what a video that is, Highland Hamish. Yes, Aquavite videos of Visit Tyler are fantastic. And then Jesse, that's enough compliments. Thanks, so I don't have the patter or storytelling skills to yourself, so polish your tongues with memes and daft jokes. Don't be silly, mate. You absolutely do. Brilliant. Such a great dram. That's not any hints to Whiskey of the Year, by the way. It's already won one award, it doesn't need another. Or maybe it does, who knows. Right, I'm going to go for, only because it's what's close, as I said, I've got Roy's Ardnahole just out of arm's reach. The Ardnahole small batch barflies. I'm going to finish on that, but before that I'm going to go for, this was meant to be opened on a stream the other week. The rare batch, the rare breed, sorry, Wild Turkey. I'm just going to have a wee bourbon. This one, 58.4%. Just to get the palate a wee bit sweeter before we dig in to that bourbon cask. Oh, it's a great drop. If you've not had it before, Wild Turkey. If you've never had Wild Turkey, go 101 first. and then rare breed. This was an offer bottle. It was like ridiculously priced on a Caddo or something like that a couple of years ago. I ended up with a few of them for like, I want to say like 20 quid a bottle or something like that. And it sat there for a while. I don't know if they've changed the branding, but great bourbon. But yeah, it's a year, I think, very positive. I think 2025 has been a fantastic year for whiskey. I feel like it's coming back to us. I feel finally, maybe, and people could maybe disagree with this, but finally the makers are listening a wee bit more to us at a bigger level. There is apparently we've not even talked, mystery malt. Mystery malt's had a huge impact. Bigger than I think people appreciate on the industry. Quite a few big names now are doing these mystery boxes. Are doing mystery boxes. Monday, Glenmorangie, okay, they're both LVMH, but Monday, Glenmo are doing a mystery box for 99 quid. They are trying to punt stock using a mystery model that Thompson Brothers did. And speaking, and I've said this before, but when we were up there and speaking with Phil, and he was saying that it's now in the case of they're not picking the casks. They are saying for the next release, send us what you want to send us, and then be it on your head, be it. And so the pressure's on the distilleries to supply the good stuff because they know how popular these bottles are. That's been, I would say, in this year, that's probably one of, if not one of, I wouldn't say it's the biggest development this year, but it's had a huge impact on the industry that maybe we're not quite aware of, but it's a fantastic concept. Well, it had an impact on my mate Jack, didn't it? 30-year-old Klein Leash for dinner. I didn't even ask. He lives in LA. I don't even want to ask him how much he paid, how much that cost. I'm hoping someone else is paying because, God. Hamish is saying, honestly, Magic Isla changed my life, no BS. It's mad, isn't it, how these videos, like, if we all went to go to a smoke blowing competition here, Roy's V pubs, absolutely, like, I would not know anywhere near enough about whiskey without those and the quizzes at the end. And now, like, I can just sit and know enough about whiskey. I'll never know everything, but I know enough. I'm alright. I'm happy with that because of that fantastic, just that cadence. And to be honest, I get disappointed that there's no more for Roy. I get he's super busy, but like I get so excited when I see recycled, is it recycled? Oh, my brain, I'm too tired. But you know the ones I mean, recycled reviews at when the wheelie bins. And I try and have a wee game with myself of how many bottles he'll toss and open and neck pour that he's got left. But stuff like that just keeps you going. Ralphie, all his stuff. Like, but I will agree with what Andy's saying here. Rex and Daniel were so good in the old days, not so much since the split. I think they had a wee bit of magic. Together. I really enjoy what Rex is putting out, but I get he's got a lot going on. I would love to see more about the distillery and all that stuff and the bar. Some of the videos I just skip because I'm like, well, I'll watch it later. Like when it's, can we distill this or can we distill that? And I think what Rex is doing, Rex's life has obviously changed with him getting married to Emma and all that kind of stuff, which is amazing. It's so parasocial, saying that as if I know them, but I enjoy what he's doing as well separately. but together, it's really hard as a solo creator to make stuff that's engaging on your own all the time. They had each other to play off of, and that's what people bought. People bought those two. They bought that camaraderie that they had, that energy, and that dynamic. But I still think they're doing good stuff. Danny's asking, Hamish, what whiskey has surprised you most this year? Ted saying, love the whiskey ads video. Thank you so much, mate. I just thought I'd do something a wee bit fun. I was going to do it. So as you know, like normally I have like wee cutaways during the live stream. And I was thinking the other week, before the last one, I was like, oh, I fancy putting some wee funny bits in, wee adverts and stuff. And then I thought, maybe I'll put some just old school adverts of other stuff in when I need to just take a wee break or cough or whatever. And then I thought, actually, that would be a good wee video to put up, just like the best whiskey ads, or just a wee compilation video. Like in Scotland, they have like these Hug Money programs, New Year's Eve programs, where they go through like old Scottish adverts and all this kind of stuff. And I just thought, why not? I've got the chair, I'll sit and I'll just make a wee video of what I enjoyed. So I appreciate you saying that, mate. Thank you so much. Richardson, I've had the rare breed, but I actually prefer the Wild Turkey 101. 23 quid in Asda currently. Mate, 23 quid for a 101. Snap them up. Buy a case. They're absolutely fantastic. Lowlander saying the Mystery Malt series is really good for the newer distilleries to showcase their spirit. Yes, it is. It is, and it gets it's what SMWS kind of started out as a wee bit as well, though, didn't it? Because you never knew what it was. It was just the name of the description, whatever. Didn't have the mystery box feel because you still knew kind of what you were buying. You had tasting notes and whatever. But I've got the Glasgow mystery malt from the latest release. Was it Glasgow? Lovely. I tried the Rassie at the Whisky Show in London, and it's in first fill Dutch virgin oak. Yeah, Dutch virgin oak. It tastes like sherry. The Rassie. It was weird as hell. But stuff like that you wouldn't normally go and buy. So it definitely helped him showcase it. Tony, I'm going to put in all you amazing new whiskey YouTubers in a totally not made up FIFA prize. I'm looking forward to it. Who's going to be Tony? Who would you get to perform the musical numbers that would get us all up dancing in our seats with that? I'd love to know. I wish I could remember all the facts I learned through Roy's quiz at the end, but this old brain of mine won't hold the facts like they used to. Oh mate, they're in there somewhere. They'll be rattling about. The way my brain works is they come to my mind that like I'll wake up at like 5:30 in the morning and I'll think about it and I'm like, oh my god, that. Such a good bourbon, that. I pushed heavily this year in the Oswards for Stag. I think Stag is phenomenal. Price point, no, you're talking like double. Though we were talking about the bourbons coming to market earlier. Stag's been available and cheaper, under 100 quid. I saw them at. If you've never had a Stag and you like bourbon, absolutely go for it. If you've had Stag before, you're probably going to go for it. And if you don't like bourbon, then don't. But it's really good. It's really good. At lunch, I was at lunch yesterday. I went to Rules in London, which is London's oldest restaurant, apparently. The continuous spot for a restaurant. It's in Covent Garden. And I had a glass of wine and a couple of beers. That was it. And I was having to leave early, and one of my mates, Jan, that I went to the Scotland game with, loves his Kalila, loves his Isla, but loves whiskey. And he went, oh, do you want to pick me a whiskey? And I actually picked him a bourbon They have a great whiskey bar upstairs, but I picked them a bourbon because they had the George T. Stag from 2018. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap, but I wasn't paying, so I was like, all right, I'll pick it. And I got him the George T. Stag, 64% pour, and he had it, and he said, what have I got? He didn't know what I'd ordered it, and I said, I'll try it, and he tried it and went, oh, that's great. I says, it should be. It's probably about 1,400 quid a bottle now. But Stag and then George T. Stag is the next level. There was Pappy on the menu and stuff as well, but Pappy's good. Pappy 15, phenomenal. But nah, Stag. Always Stag for me. Let's see. So in terms of what else is going on, 2025, we're in December, silly season is coming, you've still got time to get gifts. As I'm probably going to end this stream in about maybe 20 minutes, a wee bit longer than I expected. I thought it was only going to do an hour or so, but it's been great fun chatting to you guys tonight, really engaged. Gift ideas for people. So last year I did the Whiskey Roundtable with Finn, as we were talking about tonight, No Nonsense Whiskey, and also the wonderful ladies from the Grail. And we did a kind of head-to-head like competition, fun competition of like the best whiskey gifting ideas. This year, what would you recommend? Is it a bottle? Is it some whiskey accessories? Is it books? Is it a movie? Is it a festival ticket? What would be your gift of choice? Because I've been thinking about this for myself. Normally I need to give a list to people, and I'm like, oh. And then I give them the list and then I get nothing from it because they go, oh, we don't want to buy you anything whiskey related. Literally asking for it. I can do a shameless plug here as well. If you go to drinkswhiskey.com and you click on merch, you can find some new t-shirts. There is the Ben Romack t-shirt and there is a Glengarry t-shirt there. There's been some issues with the way it's kind of been like on YouTube underneath here just now. There'll be some ads or like some product placement, not ads but product placement of like my stuff, but it's weird. There's been some dodgy links and I need to fix Derek's order. I'm sorting him out because I think he accidentally ordered a small and it wasn't meant to be and whatever, so I'm not gonna, it was my fault. But basically, some quality whiskey merch. If you need gifts for the whiskey lover in your life, i.e. yourself, by all means, jump on there. I'll probably next week do a wee special code as well for the Patreon guys to sort them out. And there's also going to be some fun Patreon stuff coming as well that I'm working on. Drams on the Run edition 2. It's only like 3.5 months late. It's getting there. It's really getting there. See. Who said, it was all left field. I'm struggling to come up with a surprise, but many great drams and whiskey experiences this year. Frank saying, anything but whiskey stones. Whiskey stones, man. Oh, if only I'd thought of whiskey stones. Imagine being the person that's punted whiskey stones. Lowlanders I've bought the whiskey yearbook for a few friends that have been getting into whiskey. Absolutely. It's on my list. I get that every year, pretty much. It's on my list. Just buy me it. And then I get the 101 whiskies to try that they keep releasing. I think they just forget that they've bought me it the year before. It keeps coming. And I know whiskies change, but I don't think that book changes that often. Some quality books out this year. I've got behind me. I've still got to read them. I've got Dave Broom's books piling up, and because they're beautiful big books, but they're boy to fucking just sit and read. Like, so I need to go. Sorry, made myself laugh saying that. So we've got those. My tips for things to buy people this year. Supermarket whiskey, I'll know after tomorrow. because I'll get to go round and see them all and kind of go, "Well, okay, that's the latest deals." Normally I film it in November, but because of the Black Friday stuff, the prices kind of flux. So I'm like, I'm going to do it in December when it's settled a little bit. They'll still be on promotion, but we'll do that. Bottles from whiskey specialist stores. I would recommend, if they like peat, I would recommend Ardnahall. I think that's an easy win. Whiskey community wise, I think Ardnahall is great. I think what they're putting out is great as a new whiskey. I would say for other whiskies, Wireworks Bourbon Cask. Kind of singing the praises of that for a long time. That's fantastic whiskey. I think if you want to go weird, so my brother-in-law messaged me and he was like, look, if you were buying this for somebody or you were doing this for somebody, whiskey guy, what would you buy them? I need to buy a gift for a colleague. We've got a whip round, there's £100 budget. And I'm like, oh god. So I sent him, I'll read out the list of what I sent him. Because it's hard, it's always hard to buy whiskey for people, isn't it? And I get why people say to me, oh, I can't buy you whiskey. But I said to him, I said, Ardnahall 5-year-old cask strength. I said a Dalyoun 17-year-old signatory cask strength. I said the Kubokin 15, of course, because that's brilliant. I said the Key 1 2021, which is a Korean whiskey. It's exclusive to the Whisky Exchange. I had it at the whiskey show. They used baker's yeast in it because that was the only yeast they could use at the time because of COVID or whatever it was. It's phenomenal because it's so weird. It's so weird. So that was definitely a recommendation. Left field. Ben Nevis, 2013, 11-year-old, Adelphi. Dalmore, 2015, 9-year-old from Adelphi. These are probably sold out by now, to be honest. I sent them this week. I ain't gone. But it's difficult when it's price point as well. Any like under 50 quid, just pick up a signatory 100 if you don't know. Give somebody that. It's not going to go too far wrong. Book wise, Dave Room books, great. The yearbook, absolutely. I picked up a book the other week as well. I started reading. Let me pull it up on. I bought it off Amazon. Purely because there was a lot of Discord going around about a few things, and you want to help people. Like if people are making stuff, absolutely, you want to help them. Let me find it. I've just seen that Glenfiddich 14 is £40.50 now. Let's see if this book comes up. Chasing the Dram. I bought that, and that is a book by, pop the author's name, Rachel McCormick. Chasing the Dram, Finding the Spirit of Whiskey. Started reading it. They don't have it available. They have one hardcover copy available used, very good, for £2.20. I'd buy it at £2.20, absolutely. Paperback's available at £9.75. Brand new. Right, and it's strange how that never came up before. And then used, very good, at £3.39. So do with that what you will. That's a great book. I started reading it. It's really, really personable and enjoyable. Definitely look at that. Then you've got the Highlander Inn, as I said on last year's stream. Highlander Inn do an amazing deal. If there's 2 of you going, staying, you can get £100 bar tab for whiskey each night you stay. If there's one of you going, you get a £50 bar tab. Go with 2 people, stay in one room. Him saying he got First Fill Whiskey's whiskey map done in a Lord of the Rings style, unique. Yeah, I saw them. They're brilliant, aren't they? Phil's maps. Peter saying, not celebrating Christmas, so no stress about thinking about presents. Very relaxed vibe and recommended for a lot of folks. Absolutely, mate. I'll take cash this year, flying over to Wales to visit the family for Christmas, and that's not cheap. Price of living here is crazy compared to Deutschland. Tony's off to movie night. Cheers, David. No, Tony, enjoy. I think that's everybody. Guys, we are at 12:17 past normal time. I am going to wrap it up there. As always, thank you so much for joining the stream. Do like, subscribe, leave a comment if you're watching on catch up. It helps every little bit. At Drinks Whisky on Instagram, where you'll get more up to date posts and stuff. To kind of really do the community stuff on here. If you are so inclined and you want to help support the channel and do stuff, there is of course the Patreon. These wonderful folk always help. There's chat on there. There's back and forwards. There's posts, there's exclusive videos, there's wee Q&As, stuff like that, which you can find there. But that side, 7th of December is today. 6 plus 7, 13, 20. We should get one just before Christmas. We should get one in just before Christmas. If you can't make it, then have a wonderful Christmas time, holiday, festive period. If not, I'll see you there. On Instagram, I'm there and thereabouts. But as always, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go and pour myself that small batch Ardnaho for Aqua VT, and I'm going to get to my bed. Cheers, guys. Thank you. As always, where's this end? I've got a wee end stream button that I meant to press. I think it's this one. See you later.